Hello and welcome to the last video of the series Light and Transformation. In today's video I'm going to talk about this work from 2021 entitled The New Human. It is a work that I made during the pandemic in 2021, and it explores the role of the individual. So we are going back to the individual in this last video, and it is about the role of the individual, its transformation, how we as humans can move from one stage to the other, facing all these challenges we have faced and are still facing in our society and in our world. So it is about this shift from the old self to the new self. But before I talk about this more, I want to invite you to have your own look and get your own approach to this particular painting, and I will come back in and talk more about my perspectives. The new human. Where is the human in this painting? Well, maybe you are able to recognize the head here and a kind of spine, and here you see the nipples and the shoulders here and here, and you see two hands. These are the fingers, so this is the right hand and the left hand. So this human is revealing, shedding the old skin and showing us the new human that is emerging from the inside. It is like a light body, like a light head made of this white light that is emerging from the old self. The body is rather abstract, so you could also think of a geological formation, if you like, of something that is related to the earth. So this emergence of this light body could also be something like an eruption of a volcano, something like an earthquake. I wanted it also to allude to the earth, to this eruption of the new earth. So I wanted to have this analogy and this connection between the human body that transforms itself from the old to the new, but also the earth that transforms herself from the old earth to the new earth. So there is this correspondence between us as humans and the earth as a planet, as a being. I painted the new human in 2021 during the pandemic, and it was indeed the time of the pandemic with the great division between people that, well, you could say inspired me, but it's rather forced me to address this idea of separation between us humans, between, them up there, authorities, and the people, but also between the people, between the humans, between individuals. And this separation is something that doesn't stop there. It's actually also a separation that is within us. I believe that everything that we see in the outside world is a mirror for what we have inside of us. So every time there is something going on in the outside world that I cannot really understand, that I cannot understand in terms of thinking about it rationally, but also emotionally, a dilemma, every time I experience that, I go back to my studio and start to paint. So I explore all these problems through my work. And in this particular painting, I explored this idea of rigidity, of authority, of being put into one specific box and putting others into boxes as well. So this idea of there is a right box and a wrong box. There is the right individual and the wrong individual. There is the good citizen and the bad citizen. And we all accept these definitions to a certain extent. We are not aware of it, but we do. And I realized I'm doing that as well. So this is why this body, this skin that this human, this individual is removing is actually looks like something very old and rigid, because it's about these old structures that are rigid, not flexible, not moving, and actually putting us into one small box. And we let ourselves be put into this box. And now I wanted to really remove this limitation, this box of limitation that I have accepted to be put into. And I wanted to explore, how does it feel and how does it look like if we remove this skin of limitation, if we remove this structure that we have accepted throughout our lives, more or less consciously. And what happened was that from this old structure, I could feel that there is something new that wants to emerge. You could say the new human, the new world, the new view of the world. And this new view is really breaking free from this old structure. And it also, breaks this structure apart. So it forces this rigid structure to release it and to make way for this new energy, for this new human, new view, new earth, new world to come out. And it's like a seed that is growing from this old, structure, but it's also like a flash that strikes this old structure. It could also be like something like a volcano. So we have all these ideas of breakthroughs, breaking out and breaking through the old. But at the same time, this individual that has accepted this box and maybe built it themselves to feel secure, to feel accepted, to feel stable, to feel safe, this individual is now themselves removing this old structure in a very, very elegant way. There is no rush in this movement. This individual knows this is going to happen. This individual knows this needs to happen, and it does it in a very, very conscious way. It's not like it's it's not like it's shocked by this light coming out. It knows it comes out and it reveals itself to the world. So this feeling of being put into a box, restricted, actually stimulated me to and inspired me to look for the way we can liberate ourselves from ourselves. Because liberation is not only something that you do in relation to an outside thing, to an outside world. Liberation is something that is always starting within. Liberation is always an inner process. And actually this liberation is not something that destroys the old structure in terms of fights against it. I feel that this, if I would paint another painting that is the next step of what we see here, because this is of course just one specific moment of this transformation from the old to the new. So if I had to paint another one that tells the next step of this movement, of this process, I would say that this old structure, this shadow maybe, is actually going into this light like a torus, like the magnetic field of the earth. So this light contains the old structure. This light integrates the old, integrates its shadows, integrates the parts, the negative parts maybe. But through this integration it becomes whole. So it's not fighting the old, it's knowing the old, because it has its experiences with the old, but the old has done its duty and can leave now, so it can be integrated into this light. So this individual forms a torus where the old is actually nourishing this light, going into this light and becoming the new human. So the new emerges from the old like a seed breaking through the earth. I would now like to show you the making of this painting, because it makes it easier for me to explain how I approach the subject. You can see at the beginning that there was this outer structure, very much defined. So I was clear about the old structure, the old body, the old skin that needs to be removed. So that was a step in this painting that I, as an artist, was clear about in the story that I was going to tell with this painting. But what I was not clear about was what is going to emerge in the center. What is this skin revealing? And it took me 2 months in 2021 to get to the final result. So as you can see during the process of painting, first there was a head that was thrown back like this, like a surrender. But then I realized what is coming out of the old is not something that is giving up, although surrender can be something very powerful. But I felt that this head that was thrown back was like, okay, I don't give about what's going on. I give up. And I didn't find that fitting to what I wanted to express. So then I started to see this light body, light individual emerge from this old structure. And as you can see in the process, first the light was rather small and orange, and then it starts to get brighter and brighter and brighter and become a star, like a supernova. And once this light was clear, it started to spread along the spine of the individual, just like a flash. So you can see that it started in the head, like an activation, like a consciousness that is suddenly enlightened. And this enlightenment is spreading through the body and really going into the old structure, into the chest, into the torso, and tearing these tectonic plates of the torso apart. And this is the final result of this process. This painting is a snapshot of this transformation process that, of course, contains many, many different aspects and is something that happens to us again and again in our lives. Transformation is an ongoing process, so there is not one cycle and it just ends, but it's rather a spiral. So you complete an experience and then you move to the next spiral. And in this painting, it's the individual that is emerging. It's not completely here yet, but it is removing the old, just like the butterfly. The metamorphosis is almost complete, and now we can see the butterfly emerging. I will now let you have a few more minutes with this painting and get inspiration for your own transformation, and maybe think about your own situation right now, or maybe times in your life where you went through this process of transformation from the old self to a new self, from an old you to a new you. Can you imagine to have this transformation be a smooth process of evolution from one stage to the other? Or do you feel it needs to be something that is really like an eruption or disruption? Are we able as humans to evolve to a next stage of human evolution that I believe includes not only a new body, a healthier body, but also us opening up to our multidimensionality, so to our mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, well, all in all, metaphysical layers that are also existing and that we forgot about. This is also something that is very important for this work. The new human contains also this multidimensionality. It's a human that grows beyond the purely physical, materialistic and rational worldview and becomes a new human who is building and co-creating a new world with others. So where are you in this painting? Have you had these experiences of the light body within you, of your own multidimensionality, of your own metaphysical self? I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for staying with me until the end. And I hope to see you soon in a future video. I will make another video that wraps up the 2 series on light and darkness and light and transformation, where I will talk about my own approach from the artistic perspective and the creative crisis I had during this time where I made these paintings that I showed you, because I think it's interesting to talk about this crisis also because we are in these times of crisis, and it's important to reflect upon ways how we can emerge, evolve and transform from this state of crisis into a new world, into a new human, into a new individual. Thanks again, see you soon and take care.